So this is Chris, our Gorilla Platoon member from Texas, who, as you can see, started off with fairly high body fat and the ambition to get down and look like you can see now. This shot I put on screen for you. We pulled off 18 kilograms of body fat, took him from fat to peeled up, shredded, and now walking around in a body that he is confident with. I'm going to explain in this video how we did that so you can apply it to your own training. So the very first thing we need to do when you are starting out on this transformation journey is we need to establish a start point. A lot of you will just go on a fat loss plan, and I can tell you the first mistake you make, you go too aggressive with your diet too quickly. And it's understandable, you've got high body fat, you think, right, we need to get this off as quick as we can. So you'll start with your calories too low, you'll start with your cardio too high, and you'll just burn yourself out. It lasts for about 2 to 3 weeks, you'll run out of steam, you'll be like, this isn't for me. It is for you. Everyone can get a six-pack. Trust me when I say this absolutely is for you. You just need to structure it correctly. So we'll first come in, we'll establish body fat. Now, if you saw Chris's photo at the start, I think realistically we're sat anywhere from 25 to about 27% of body fat. And I'd say that's accurate. We pulled down 18 kilograms, end shot maybe 10, 9% body fat, very, very lean. So we've pulled 18 kg off. Realistically, it's probably about 18% of body fat has come off there. So we could even say around 28%. But bear in mind that the first couple of kilos can be like water weight, inflammation and whatnot. So let's say it was 27% body fat. That's your first estimate that you're going to need to do, because you're going to need scale weight, body fat percentage. Take the body fat percentage off the scale weight. It's going to give you your lean mass. Your lean mass, you're then going to add your desired body fat percentage to it. So in this case, if you were a certain figure, you wanted to get to 10%, add 10% to your target. That's your new scale weight to get down. You got current scale weight, goal scale weight. You can establish a rough time frame, and this is important for you because a lot of you, it's a fair question. You'll say, and I make videos on this, what can be achieved in 16 weeks, 12 weeks, 20 weeks, and it's important for you to know because you need to know your end state, you need to know if you're on track, and it's going to give you a motivation to know, right, if I lock in for this amount of time, I can achieve it. Whereas if you just think you're going off into the Ulu trying to drop as much as possible, you'll be like, I don't know when this ends, and most of you will run out of steam and lose motivation. So that's going to give you your estimated time frame. Specifically, you're looking to drop about 1 kilogram per week, especially for the first 10 kilos. The first 10 kilos for Chris, it like melted off. Our starting point for him, scale weight wise, was 80 kg. And as we got him down at the end to 62, we started off in 2,118 calories, so not really that high to tell you the truth. 10,000 steps and 20 minutes of formal cardio. That's why I always start my guys on. But obviously that's a relative term. He was 27% body fat at 80 kg. That's just how much food he actually needed, and you're going to need to do the same when you set yourselves up. So first thing we say, you take your photos front, side and back, you get your scale weight, you work out your current weight, goal weight that you're going to hit, how many weeks that's roughly going to take, which aim for about 1 kilogram per week. But just know as you get leaner towards the back end, it's not that you need special, and this is like take this advice away from this video, it's not that you need special training or tactics that are going to get the last little bits of body fat off. It's more you just need to dial in your habits even more. It's making sure that you track everything religiously, even more so towards the back end of the dieting phase. Because naturally what will happen is you'll get past about 15% body fat, and that's the body's, I'd say, it's equilibrium. The body doesn't really want to be 20% body fat. It's more than it's used to, but it also doesn't really, if it doesn't have to, be 10% body fat. But for aesthetics and look, we want to be 10% body fat, and that's a great goal to have because you look and feel amazing. But the body will resist you when you get down to about 15%. You've got about 5 kilos or so to get off, 10 pounds for my American brothers that are watching. And it's not that there's a specific tactic that you need to get those last bits off. You just need to keep doing what you were doing, but more than likely things will crop up. You'll not track your steps as much and you'll be short. You'll not push as hard on your cardio and your heart rate will be under and you'll not burn as many calories. Random little snacks will creep into your diet. Extra calories here and there will end up creeping into your diet. Things like I move my hands a lot when I speak. I can speak quick now because I'm eating a good amount of food. When you're not, you'll speak slower. You'll only speak when you absolutely have to. You'll only conversate with people when you absolutely have to. And you'll move your body less. So just naturally, your body will conserve energy and calories as you're getting leaner and leaner. For you, you need to keep a track of what you're doing to make sure that you're always religiously accountable to that output. You never miss on it. That was one very good thing that Chris did. So first thing in this video is we had to set your start point up, which we did. We know where you were, where we need to get to, how long that's going to take, and understanding that towards the back end, it will slow down a bit. A good target for you to take away, I've said 1 kilogram per week drop off, and that is achievable. But as you get towards those last 4 or 5 kgs, if you can still drop 1% per week of your scale weight, that is still very, very good. So that's what I'd say in terms of your time frame. So for our time frame with Chris, it was 18 kgs drop off. We actually dropped that in 30 weeks. That was the overall time frame that we did that in. As I said in the beginning, it was kilo, 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 and towards the back end, it was more towards that 1% marker that then slowed down the time frame to get that last little bit of leanness off. Now, when you're going through your transformation, the next questions will be, what should I eat? How should I train? And what sort of cardio should I do? So let's answer those for you now. I want this to be like a little bit of a comprehensive guide that if you're starting in Chris's position, you can take this video, apply it, and start to run with it. Now, first thing, let's talk about training. For most of you that train, I think realistically a good split to follow, and the one we did for Chris was a 4-day split. When I do 4-day, I like to break it up into full body push, everything on the front of the body. So we're talking pec deck, incline dumbbell press, a leg press for quads, dumbbell shoulder press, a lateral raise of some form, either cable or dumbbell, and then 2 tricep exercises, some form of push down, some form of overhead. And that's going to give you a balanced physique, mainly geared around aesthetic upper body. That's what most of the members want when they come to us at the Gorilla Platoon. So notice how we've just got 3 sets of leg press in there. Big money maker exercise for quads and glutes, but our main attention is going towards that upper body aesthetic physique. The pull day, so everything on now the back of the body, obviously I appreciate biceps are on the front and triceps are on the back, they're antagonist muscles as you well know. So everything on the back of the body, we're talking single arm pull down, some form of an upper back and a chest supported row. We start with lying hamstring curl, and as you get better through the split, we're then going to add something like an RDL. RDLs are brilliant, but they're not beginner friendly. They're really, really not. You've got so much going on. The full back of your body is being like really, really targeted. So I'd say just start with a seated, ideally hamstring first, just because of the way the glute is pulled over the hip joint because you're seated. I would say use that first, or a lie-in. We then use lat pull down, dumbbell preacher curl, ab crunch, and incline dumbbell bicep curl. So what this does is within 2 days, you've hit everything front and back of the body. Rest for another day, then repeat that protocol for 2 more days per week and have 2 more further days of rest. This is for those of you that aren't complete beginners in the gym. If so, just go to a 3-day and that'll work very well as well. And those that are really advanced, you may want to do the 5th day of training, in which case the beautiful thing about the 5th day is you're able to just take the leg days out of these sessions and insert one singular leg day where you can do more volume. So that's the training split that we ran for Chris. A couple of big things we really dial in are tempo, so we'll come down steady, 3, 2, 1, we'll pause at the bottom and then we'll drive back up to the top. Just lifting slow will make you more accurate with how you lift, and it'll make you actually target the working muscle. So just take that point away when you're training. When it comes to the nutrition plan, generally speaking, I like to run a meal plan that is whole food based and high in fiber. So when we set off a diet plan, we'll try and push fiber as high as we possibly can. So a typical meal plan you're looking is like meal 1 would be some form of whole eggs, good cholesterol, and if you hard boil them, they're quite filling and texturous. From there, we're gonna have some form of oatmeal and some form of fruit to go in that to sweeten it up. Overall, the fruit and the oatmeal, very fibrous. Second meal, we're gonna run with a lean protein like a chicken. It can be a tuna, turkey, or a whitefish. And then you're gonna go with vegetables. You either wanna run, for the top end, we're talking like a spinach, a kale, or a broccoli, very nutrient dense. And then something, we go 100 grams of veg in a meal, so 50 grams will be towards those. The other 50 won't be to more water-based vegetables that are going to pack out the meal plan. So you're talking tomato, cucumbers, and red onions. They're going to add water and volume. They're not as nutrient dense, but you're getting both from, we're hitting the meal from both angles. Then we're looking at some form of a potato, again, very nutrient dense in terms of the overall carb-like family tree, if you will, a bit more nutrient dense than pasta and rice, although both are very good carb options as well. And you can go sweet or white potato with this. As far as a pre-gym goes, we really just run with fruit because it'll digest quite quickly, and again, plenty of nutrients. So we're talking now like kiwis, bananas, pineapples, apples, berries, or any blend of that. Your best nutrients you're going to get are like berries, pineapples and kiwis, and from what I can see, they're the most nutrient dense. But things like apples and bananas still are like a second tier good option as well. Again, so some fruit like a kiwi and a banana, they digest rapid, whereas like something like an apple is going to take a little bit longer. So that's just food for thought. But as a general rule of thumb, they're all going to digest within like max 30 minutes. So it's a very good pre-workout option. The next meal we're going to have is, if needed, and this would depend on your overall calorie target, you might want to put a shake in there just for straight after the gym. But if you're not carrying that much muscle, you don't need as high of protein, just take that out and just get it all from real food. So the next meal of the day, you could have a fattier option for protein that can absolutely work, like a steak or a salmon. Appreciate they're a little bit more expensive. Or you can roll with another lean option again from the tree that we spoke about, and you want to replicate the same carb and veg options. To be honest, ideally you want to replicate those two meals because you can prep them and take them with you. Most of you don't prep, or you find food sticking to a meal plan hard because you just make your life difficult. There's too much going on in the diet. There's too many different like foods going in. You ideally want to limit your diet to like 10 to 12 foods if you can. We'll finish the day with something like fairly sweet, so we're talking like a yogurt for a probiotics, berries, and then some dark chocolate. So realistically, they're all single ingredient foods, bar you could say dark chocolate has like a couple of foods going into it. And obviously if you get your protein powders, fuck knows what's gone into them. Who even knows in the modern day? But realistically, we're breaking a diet down then to what? Eggs, oats, fruit. We'll call fruit as one category. It's all single ingredient. Potatoes, a lean protein. Vegetables, again, we could say they're all single ingredients, all within a tree. Yogurt, dark chocolate. And that's literally it. Obviously, if you count individual fruit and veg, sure, it'd be like 15 items, but otherwise it's down to like 8. Simple, nice and simple. You want that. You want your shopping bill to be nice and small. You want your food list to be nice and small. You want prepping it to be nice and easy. Most of you at this stage of the game, starting in Chris's position, you just need simplicity. If you try to complicate and make it seem fancy, you just won't stick to it anyway. You really, really won't, because there's too much going on. There's too many variables. There's too many things to think about and remember. And like life will just get in the way. You got to the position of body fat that you're in because life ultimately got in the way. You didn't wake up and choose to be 27% body fat. You got there through work being busy, family commitments, and then ultimately a little bit of like idealism from yourself. That's how you got there. So just keep your meal plan simple. I personally eat the same foods every day religiously. I never get bored of them because I eat for fuel. I eat for nutrients. If I want to go out on the weekend one time and I want to eat for taste, then I'll go out and eat for taste. But I live on a 95-5 rule, not 80-20. I'm 95-5, and you need to be 100% zero when you're going through these first phases. It sounds extreme, but like realistically, do you want to be in great shape or not? And most people will try and fluff you up and say, oh, you can eat protein ice cream, that and the other. We don't do that at the Gorilla Platoon, and we might not be for you for that reason. We eat singular whole ingredient foods because it's what works, and it's actually what you need. You trying to eat these random foods in these meal plans where they've got like your fat foods, but they're protein friendly, you're defeating, I say, the purpose of why we're doing this. It's not about the six pack. It's not about the meal plan. It's about you being someone of discipline. It's about you being someone where you say you can come off all of the vices that you had before, because they are vices, and you can stick to nutrient dense foods because that's what the best version of you deserve to eat. Like, and people always use the car analogy, but it kind of is true. You had a nice car, you're not going to put the lowest level of fuel in it. You're going to put the best fuel in it so it runs efficiently. A lot of you still see yourself as a nice car, but you're willing to put garbage in your body. Like, you wouldn't do it to your car, so don't do it to your own human body, because it's actually less catastrophic. I'd rather put the wrong fuel in my car and it half break down than consistently feed myself garbage foods and my brain just doesn't work. It's like I can't stress enough how important this is for you. So that's like a typical meal plan that we'll run. When it comes to cardio, we like to run things that are non-impact because I want you to do it daily. For members in the Gorilla Platoon, we don't just turn you into people that are hungry and bodybuilders. I like to say we're going to turn you into the 2.0, but the athlete version of you. And the athlete version of you is fit. He's got a healthy heart. So we use cardio daily to get the results that we do. It's not enough alone to just use steps. Steps are great, but you know what the problem with steps are? As you get leaner, those steps, they mean less. Like someone that's heavy, 90, 100 kgs, it's nearly 200 pounds, when they do steps, they burn calories. When someone that's mid 60 kgs is doing steps, they're not really burning that many calories. Sure, steps are still great, but you're not getting the same effect. Whereas cardio, you're there to meet a heart rate zone. We use 120 to 130. Any higher than that, I find you're just taking yourself out of that sweet spot for fat burning. Any lower than that, you may as well just be doing basic steps, which steps we put in the category of NEAT. Non-activity exercise thermogenesis. This is like me moving my hands. This is like kind of like steps. So with formal cardio, you're accountable to the heart rate you need to stay in. So even as you get fitter or lighter, you can still keep that going. I find the cross train, or in America you probably call it the elliptical, to be the best cause of cardio. Stairmaster's great towards the back end, but Stairmaster, naturally, if you put it on a respectable speed, your heart rate goes too high. Incline treadmill, walk and a bike are great in the beginning, but as you get fitter and leaner, you have to run rapid to actually get your heart rate up. But the cross train I find to be the sweet spot in between. So we have our guys run that literally daily, along with 10,000 steps each and every day. As I said in the beginning, those first few kilos will melt away from you very, very quickly. Even just by doing 10K steps and eating whole foods and barely even doing any cardio, you'll really find you'll drop off quite quickly. Towards the back end, that minutes of cardio is going to really need to come up so you can keep the dropping of body fat. But let's come on to that now. So throughout the process, when we're going through the transformation, we will set you on an input and output. So for Chris, he started 218 calories, 10K steps, 20 minutes of cardio. In the beginning, you'll be drop. You probably get about 3 kilo drop off out of just that input and output before you even need to look at making a change. And that's, I guarantee, as you were adjusting to the plan, there was a little bit of lack of adherence during those first few weeks. From there, you'll then notice it'll slow down. Don't panic when this happens. It's absolutely normal. You should expect that at some point, you will not be dropping the same weight that you was in the beginning. Don't get me wrong, that doesn't have to be 3 weeks. I've had it with guys, and if I've got some members here, and we'll talk about those in future videos when they finish, we've literally not even had to change the amount of calories they've eaten or the cardio. Some people, you put them on a plan, they're just a furnace. They burn. It's just the fact they are in a deficit, they burn. I'm a bit like this. My metabolism works very well. I can eat 2,900 calories, do no cardio, just 10K steps, and I'll burn very, very nicely. Some people are like that. Let's assume you're not, because most people that come to me are not. They're like the rare breed. There's no point speaking about the rule, the exception to the rule, if you will. So when you're in this process, you may get 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks out of a protocol. Then you'll need to change, because the body's smart. It adapts to whatever you put it on eventually. This is why your body, if you've eaten 1,800 calories and not dropped, it's because your body is efficient at being like, this motherfucker is starving me. He's barely giving me any nutrients because half his calories are coming from Mackies. I'll hold this body fat because I don't know when I'm going to get more nutrients. That's essentially how people get their metabolism in the bin. So we ran the protocol, got some good change out of it for a while. Then what we needed to do was adapt. The way we adapt first is we'll up the cardio minutes. So we'll go 20 minutes daily, 30 minutes daily. Run that out again and keep that going until, again, things plateau out and we need to make another change. Then we'll go to 40 minutes of cardio daily. See the drop off, run that out, perfect. Then we may decide, right, this time let's look at it and let's pull from some food. So then we'll bring down, more than likely I'll take from a little bit of fats first, because I like to start with the overall calorie target to be about 20% of fats, which is a good solid amount, and it gives me room to pull that down. This is again why we start with your food in a good position, not really low relative to your starting point, your body fat, because it gives me options to pull the food down. And if I start with your fats a bit higher, I can pull from fats, move a small amount of food out of the diet, but create a good amount of a deficit in calories. So we'll make that changes. And essentially, we're just going to keep assessing week on week. We've not made progress. We can either push cardio or we can pull food. And it's that, honestly, it's that simple. It's just keep pulling and pulling and pulling and pushing until you get to that end point. That's if people have tried to overcomplicate fitness to you, it's a body fat dropping. It's not that hard. It's just literally a process of that. More where the challenge will come in, and this wasn't really the case for Chris, to be honest, he was pretty locked in all the way, is your ability to stay on it, your mindset as you're going through. So what I like to say is, you are here at the current version of you want to get to here, the best character version of you. Now, gold standard, you'd run in a straight line. That'd be the most efficient place to get there. And in an ideal world, and for most of the transformation, that could be the case. More than likely what's going to happen is, you'll set off on here, on the straight line, and then life will veer you off and you'll end up out here. And then eventually you'll reset, you'll be back to the center line, and then you'll veer off again, and then it'll come back on. But that's because life's throwing challenges. You got you've got an event you must go to, there's a holiday midway through, there's a wife's graduation from her uni degree, whatever it is. There's always things that are going to try and pull you off the center line. You can't really control them. If anything, they'll what make your character better at the top anyway. What you can control is your mindset to this. Your mindset may stray off the center line in the beginning. It's your job to pull that back and stay centered and stay aligned to the mission that you're on, to be emotionally unfazed to whatever's thrown left and right of you, so you just keep moving in the most efficient manner. In the beginning, most people, something big will happen, their mindset will follow. Their mindset go even further past the center line than they were. It'll eventually return and you'll get back into the position. And when you start to have an understanding of this, soon you'll have catastrophic events happen. Your mindset will barely move off that center line because you've trained your mind to stay centered and focused on the direction that you need to go, no matter what externally is happening in your day-to-day life. Your ability to stay dialed in on the center line is the main reason you will actually get to the goal in the first place. Because it could be events, it could also be your own brain that comes up with ideas that like you need a refeed randomly, or you want to change your training and do high rocks. Like all of these things are going to crop up. The reason you won't get to the goal is not because it's hard, it's not because it's complicated, it's because you won't stick to it for long enough to get to it. My main job here at the Guerrilla Platoon, of course, is to understand when to make changes and whatnot, but it's keeping people, keeping their motivation up, keeping them focused on the center line and keeping them dialed in without any sway left or right. Those that fully buy into this, they get to the results. Those that cause resistance either way, I have to come through with models and analogies that keep them focused and fixated on the center line, which is understandable because we're human beings, we're curious individuals, and most of the time we're trying to find the new best thing. The best thing you can do here, stay fixed and on the center line, and that's what's going to get you to the goal. That's what got Chris 18 kilograms off his frame to then looking shredded. So that is essentially how we in the Guerrilla Platoon pull off 18 kilograms of body fat and get people shredded. This is a second video I've actually done on this exact topic, and to be fair, there'll be a few more as we finished, some couple more results coming around the corner as well. So if you want to come join us, you want us to do this for you, there'll be a link in the description. Other than that, thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you tomorrow.